Hey, I want to do a quick video just to show you what I do to get bowl blanks somewhat round. If it's a small bowl blank, I normally just mount it on the lathe and turn off the corners. And I've kind of demonstrated that a few times in videos. I'll probably show you that more in the future. But this is a pretty large bowl blank. It's a piece of walnut, so I kind of want to knock the corners off. If you flip it over, let's see if I can make sure I keep that in the camera. If you flip it over and you like draw a circle on here, then you could take a chainsaw and you can cut the corners off. I find that if you go put it back on the bandsaw, you're flipping that over and you can't see your reference lines of where the corners are that you want to cut off. So if you're going to use a bandsaw, I've got a little trick for you. So for the bandsaw, I like to take just a couple templates. You only need a few. I think I only have one size, and this doesn't have to be the exact size. This happened to be perfect. It matched the diameter of the bowl blank that I had here. But even if it wasn't, you could just use it as a reference. And even if this was smaller than your bowl blank, and you can just make sure that you're keeping, 2 inches or so. It doesn't have to be exact. You're just trying to get this somewhat balanced and get rid of some of that corner mass, just to speed up how quick you can rough this bowl out. So I just take this, you kind of find the center, you kind of see here, if I look at it for you there, you just kind of eyeball it, and I put a screw right in the center. You screw that in, and that gives you a reference so that you can have the flat part of your bowl blank on your bandsaw, and then you can use your bandsaw just to cut those 4 corners off. Now I'm ready to mount this bowl blank on and start roughing it out. Got it mounted. This is going to be a live edge bowl, so I'm mounting the chuck or the face plate on the bark side so that we can put our mortise or our tenon on the non-bark side of the tree. Then when we turn it, we'll be hollowing out the bark side. So that's how that's done. We'll see how balanced it is. I did change my lathe. I normally keep my lathe on the higher speed, which goes up like 3,300 RPMs for smaller bowls. But if you're going to turn a big bowl like this, it's kind of hard on your lathe, so switch it to the lower torque. I have a pulley here, switch it to the lower torque. I think that limits me to about 1,700 RPMs. We are at 200 RPMs right here. It's balanced enough for that. Just want to see what we can get up to. That's about 255. I'm at 350. That's 400 RPM. That's probably where I would start out, and then once I get this a little bit more round, I'll be able to speed that up to 800-900 RPM and really start removing the material. But just by mounting that cheap little piece of plywood or whatever you want to make a template, it could be a piece of cardboard, right? A cardboard box that you get from Amazon. You could make you several different templates. You could get your rough design. Like I said, you can, if you lock this on the lathe like that, you could lock it. If you have that mounted, then you could take a battery-powered chainsaw. I do that sometimes, and just cut the corners off with a battery-powered chainsaw instead of using a bandsaw. So you really don't need a bandsaw, or one or the other works just fine. So I hope this little tip helps.